Welcome to Together We Rise.
Starring mother-daughter dynamic duo Alicia Schwartz
and Rochelle Schwartz
in collaboration with MAPS Global Events. Signing off.
Mwah.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Well, we're back. This is our 30th episode.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah,
huh?
so we're excited to be here. I am Coach Rochelle.
I am Coach Alicia Schwartz.
And
come on in, Roche.
Here we go. We are mother-daughter dynamic duo.
Yes, and we're so happy because we have an amazing guest coming on in just a few moments. But before we introduce her, as you know, Together We Rise is all about people from all walks of life that share their stories, their trials and tribulations, and it's really for everyone to receive whatever they're supposed to, but really inspiration, hope, love. And that's what our intention is that you get that from all of our guests.
Just to know that whatever you're going through and you watch them and they share that with you, you know that you can do it as well.
And
whatever it is, and you're not alone.
Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to play our video. Take it away, Nim. Hello. So before we get started, my lovely, you're not showing there, my lovely, amazing mother is going to share a little excerpt from Debbie Ford's book, Your Holiness. So take it away, Roche.
And it's really very short, and the name of it is In Awe of the Potential of the Human Spirit. I am standing in the greatest and grandest version of myself. I'm basking in the magic of the universe. Drenched in the good vibrations of God's love, hallelujah, the light inside me is now on.
Hallelujah.
We switched it on.
And you know, this next guest is full of light, full of love, full of song. And we want to introduce her, Mom.
Jessi Campo, come on down.
Come on up. We're going to bring you up. There you are.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
You're great.
All right.
Because we're basking in light and gratitude. I'm going to start off with just a little song.
Okay. Love it.
There was you in a moment I didn't expect it. With your words I felt respected, so I could fly. Then there was you, so I could fly. So I thank you.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
That is gorgeous. God, how beautiful!
God. I want
a copy of it. I want a copy. Anything beautiful. You sing, it's just beautiful. That really is who you are for us, anyway.
So we are.
For having me here, I appreciate you both.
It's our pleasure.
You know, it's so interesting. We haven't connected in a while, and I just know that there's something so special about you and your music, with what you do in your heart, and you know, music is so healing, and I know that you come from that background as well. So tell us a little bit about who Jessi Campo is.
Because she is amazing.
Yes, she is.
Thank you. I I am a daughter.
Mhm.
I am a sister. I am a lover of life, and I'm a recording artist that has recorded a lot of music all over the world, and I communicate in the international language of music. I sing in English and in Spanish, but I communicate in a language that surpasses all barriers because music is something that I believe heals us all, brings us all together. Um, I have always felt that my dad, who's back there, who now watches from there, he watches from the
Yay.
sky and he watches from back there. That my dad always told me that it doesn't matter how many people are in a room, you sing your heart out because everybody can hear you regardless of how many people are in a room.
That's beautiful.
And I learned, he said, do your best, perform your best, and give from your heart
Mm.
because people will feel it no matter what.
And boy, was he
And
right.
yeah, I tell you,
Those are great
Oh,
words of wisdom from your dad.
they really are. And they were, your mom and your dad were both in this business. Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Dad was a famous Cuban performer who started performing at the age of 14. And one of his first gigs in the United States, I think he was 19 in Chicago. Oh, 18. He was underage and he went to a club to perform in Chicago. He flew from Cuba here and they sent him back home because he was underage.
Oh my God.
He was
Amazing.
legal enough to be in the club. And then my mom was a performer and did different shows in Chile. And my dad saw her in a magazine and said, I'm going to marry this woman. Flew to
Wow.
Chile and found her and courted her like they do back in the days and married her.
That's so fascinating. That really, really is. So there's no mistake that that's where you came from.
Yes, yes.
Amazing.
And I just love, well, I love Latin music. I
Oh,
just
it's so
love it.
sexy
Yeah.
and sultry and all of it. And there's nothing ever not beautiful about
It
it.
is. It's true.
Seriously, it has a whole nother class of its own.
And you travel. I know that you travel with your music also.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
you go to New Orleans.
All the time. I call them my musical sisters and brothers over there.
Wow.
I go to New Orleans all the time and I perform out there at least twice a year during the week of Jazz Fest. I played on I think almost every venue in Frenchman Street and Bourbon Street, and then also my records are actually in the oldest record store in the United States. It's called the Louisiana Music Factory. There's still a record store, and my CDs are over there, and it's awesome. And I perform there as well, and of course toured Asia and so many different places. And
What's
had
your
the opportunity
favorite
to
place
spread
to
the love.
go? What's your favorite place to
To
visit
go or
and
play.
share your music? Yeah, to play your
I
music.
really love New
You have
Orleans.
one?
New Orleans. They love everything, just like you. They love the Spanish. They love the English. They love all of it. All of it. All of it. All of it.
Wow.
I mean, it's just something that is, yeah.
I've heard New Orleans. I haven't been.
I haven't either.
But I've heard
Yeah.
anyone that ever goes there says how, even what's her name on the Today Show, Hoda
Yes.
Kotb.
Well,
She came from there.
Yeah, she did.
You're intoxicated by the music, by the people, by the energy. And I remember performing there at the House of Blues. And I was in the House of Blues performing, and there were so many musicians around, and they all respected each other and wanted to, hear each other. It's a beautiful respect of community amongst the musicians. It's beautiful.
That's amazing.
So I know you titled this podcast. What made you decide to name it? And what are I have the names right here. And you decided to have it named Transitions, Growth, and Community. Those are the three things that I think really love. So what made you decide to do that? But those three qualities.
Transition, because I think we're constantly evolving, and I will say as a mature, seasoned woman, we we're constantly going through transitions, and I have discovered that every transition has a purpose and a meaning. And I, as all of you know, I am a recording artist. I've been a recording artist for over 25 years. During the pandemic, we were hit really hard as musicians. We had nowhere to go. We had nowhere to play. We were frustrated. And so I played in balconies. I played on the intercoastal, on the backyards. If anybody goes to my Facebook, Jessi
I've
Campo
seen
Music,
it. I saw it. I've seen it.
anywhere. Wherever I can find a spot.
A
I
lawn.
played in the
Give me a
street.
lawn. Give me a grass space.
No money. It was all about
Yes, it
that
was good.
outlet. And so
Yeah.
during that time, there was a moment of reflection right after that pandemic, and I was like, okay, so what if I don't want anything to happen like that again, but I know that there's something else. So I went to school. I went back to Berkeley School of Music, and I got a degree.
We didn't know. We didn't know. So this is really cool.
I haven't been to school in 25 years. I went back to school, got my credentials as a music supervisor. And I said, you know what? It's time to transition. I can keep singing, but let's do something that's not only going to help me, but help other musicians that have gone through the same transformation as I have during this time. And I went ahead and got my credentials, and I became a accredited music supervisor so that I could help other musicians to find another source of income other than performance, should there not be that option to put by putting music in movies, podcasts, advertising, gaming, and it's called synchronization. It's the world of where music and film or music and visuals come together.
Wow. You know what? The minute you said that, the first, and I don't think it, but the first thing that came is The Voice. Don't ask me why The Voice came. I have no idea. But that just came to me because there are a lot of artists that go on, the recording artists, and they use their talent by mentoring, right? So, yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. It's not the same, but it kind of reminds me of that. Like you're sharing your experiences to help people that maybe are not where you are and want to be where you are.
And you're totally right. It is mentoring because I started this new company called Sync Musica. We're all over social media, SYNC Musica with an A like Spanish music, Musica. And what I'm doing with the company is giving artists an opportunity to be able to get songs in movies. Because a lot of times when they want to get a song in a movie, companies don't accept what's called unsolicited material. But through an app that I developed, a technology with an app, they'll be able to submit through the company. And besides that, we'll do webinars. If people don't have any idea how their music is supposed to be to get into a movie or Netflix, what I did was create an app and mentor them with webinars. We do a show, one of my dear friends called Nomad, and one of my all-time favorite producers because he's produced my music. He used to be the musical director for Babyface. He had to shift gears. There were no more tours with the big artists.
Right.
So we did a Instagram for a little while called The Breakdown: how to make it and break, how to make it or break into the music business. And we teach people and we talk to people. And I'm starting a series of webinars, which I'll be doing as well, where we show them, hey, how to collect your money. You know how many musicians have had songs in commercials? I just talked to a girl the other day, dear friend of mine. She never got paid for commercials she did.
Wow.
Her voice was on it. Her music was on it.
That's insane.
And so
That's
how to
amazing.
help them, teach them. Yeah.
Wow.
Empower them.
Yeah.
Mentor.
That's amazing. It's really mentor. That's what I get from what you're saying. Because you have 25 years of rich experience.
You sure
do.
do.
A lot, and I guess that's what it reminded me of The Voice, because so many of the people in The Voice are young. Yeah. And so that they get to mentor, these amazing artists, that have been around for a while. So I'm glad you're doing that.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
That really is. I love it.
It kind of leads us into the questions we're going to ask you.
Yay!
Because you're such a seasoned, really, recording artist.
Yes, she is.
And
oh, God, she
your
is.
music speaks volumes.
Before we do that, I remember one thing that you were on the red carpet. Am I correct?
Yes.
What was the award, or what was that?
What red carpet is it?
So I've had a couple opportunities to be on the red carpet. One of my albums was considered for a Latin Grammy, and that opportunity in 2016, I got to walk the red carpet at the Latin Grammys.
Right.
which was amazing,
sure.
opportunity, and to be appreciated by your peers. And then the Miami Web Film Festival. It comes to Miami every year. And I was there and I walked on the red carpet at the Miami Web Film Festival. The founder of the festival actually became a dear friend of mine. That's why I encourage all young artists and writers and composers to attend music and film conferences, network, build your community. That's why I said the word community at the beginning. Build your community, strengthen your community, because by doing that, you never know who you're going to run into. I started attending that conference, did the red carpet, became really good friends with the founder. I ended up having 6 songs in a movie, Amazon. The movie's on Amazon. It's called The Dream, El Sueño in Spanish, but the movie's actually in English, but the title's in Spanish, about the dreamers and the dream acts, the dreamers that try to come here and make a life for themselves. And then later, 6 years later, he did a Christmas movie, which just came out last year, Christmas with the Carters, on Amazon. And I mean, and I am the music supervisor for that Christmas movie. So I always say, you never know who's watching. Always be at your best, because you never know when that opportunity is right there. So always make sure you're conscious, because that person next to you may tomorrow be the director of, who knows, the next big
Without a doubt.
and it's so true in what you're saying. It's like, you never know who's watching, so just be you.
Absolutely.
And show up your best for you, who you are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a great example of that.
Yeah,
That's a
you
great
sure
lesson.
It is a lesson
for people that are listening to really hone is show up, be who you are,
be yourself,
and be the best of that. And because you never know who's watching you.
Never do.
Yeah. I tell my students, there's no one like you. There's no Alicia in the world. There's no Rochelle in the world. There's no Jessi Campo in the world.
That's true.
That is a number one true. And it's funny you say that, because our mentor used to say that to us.
Yes.
There is no one in the world like you.
Correct.
No one. And when she used to say that, I used to go, there's no one in the world like me. Really? There is no one in the world? Well, they do this, they do that. Yeah, but there's no one like you. And it's so true. The essence of who you are, there's only one of you, Jessi. There's only one of Rochelle, and there's only one of me.
Alicia.
And it's true. If you really get that and own it, God.
So, going into our question for you, what was the biggest lesson that you've learned about yourself?
Okay, I know you asked me this question. I filled it out on the question.
Doesn't matter.
Just
a different answer may come out now. But
That's good. That's good. We do that for a reason.
Yeah, we do. So come from your heart, and just what is it?
Yeah, what's
the biggest lesson
that comes to you? I'm sure there are many.
The biggest lesson is that we sometimes have to get out of our own heads and become aware of the people around us. We live in such a fast-paced world today, and we're constantly on our phones, and we're constantly on computers, and technology drives us. But remember that, be aware, because everybody has feelings and everybody goes through bad moments. And if you're conscious of being aware of the person next to you, our relationships, I put relationships in there too. Our relationships can be so much more powerful, because then we show compassion. Then we have kindness. And the biggest lesson I think is being aware of the people that are around us and what they go through as well.
I think that's great though.
And it reminds me of, there's a girl that we know. I just read it on I think it was Facebook. She was at the airport. Reminds me of your story that you're talking about, to be aware of the people around you. You never know what they're going through. And she was at the airport, and this guy was kind of like abrupt and mean. And she thought, what is going on? And then she heard him talking to someone wherever he was going, that his mom was in the hospital.
And she was dying.
And this person we know went up to him and said, I just want to let you know that I'm praying for you. And he cried and she cried. And she said it was a moment, and you just never know what someone else is going through. So it's exactly what you're saying, being conscious of around you and not retaliate. She could have been mean, right? She could have been like, what's going on? but she was aware.
Yeah, she was
And
conscious.
that awareness
basically.
and consciousness helped this guy and helped her, made their day. So it's really a powerful.
It's a great
really
opportunity
powerful.
for people to really start taking and exercising kindness, because we need that so desperately.
Awareness, consciousness,
Yeah.
and equals
And to
kindness.
be kind.
Yeah.
So if God can talk to you, can speak to you, what's the message that he would like to share with you?
I have a joke. Because not a joke, but it's a funny. They say, "Tell God your plans," and
Right.
and he'll laugh, because he's a comedian. I call him a comedian. So many times I've told him, "Okay, I'm done. I'm not singing anymore. I'm done. I'm not singing anymore. This is it." And then something else shows up that keeps me singing and performing. God's telling me, keep on singing. This is something I'm supposed to do. He gave me God gave me a gift. He gives all of us gifts.
Yep.
And we're supposed to use them for the better, to honor him, to honor ourselves, to heal. If the gift of music heals. And so whether I'm singing here in my little room and I'm on Instagram or something, you never know whose life you can change in one moment. And music is powerful.
Oh, totally.
Music is
it's a healing balm. It's a healing
so
balm.
healing.
Yeah.
You know what
That's keep singing.
Yeah. Thank God. Don't stop, please.
I admire you talking about your purpose. Now, I know you for years, and I always admired the fact that no matter what was going on in your life, and there were challenges, you always went, never stopped, but you always went and sang. No matter what was happening in your world, no matter what other things you needed to do, there you were. No matter what, you were always singing. Always.
The day that Dad passed away, it was 7 a.m. in the morning, and I had a show at 1 o'clock in the afternoon that day. And I walked to the beach that morning, 8 a.m., and walked back. And then I was in a fog, and I remember Dad's voice going, "You promised me you get up on the stage no matter what. Get up on the stage no matter what." And so that voice, his, and his laughter, as he says, "Just you better get your butt on that stage." It's always there, and it music has a frequency, and that frequency is therapeutic.
Absolutely.
It vibrates, and it feels, you feel these waves that just calm you, or sometimes they make you excited and make you dance, or sometimes they make you exercise. But music, the frequency of music, whichever music you choose, has a frequency that can heal you, that can touch you, that can elevate you.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And it sounds like your dad was such an influential person in your life that gave you all these amazing lessons and blessings. I mean, lucky
Yeah, you were
that
very
you are
lucky.
that, you had that connection with your dad. It's amazing, really. I love that.
Truly blessed.
Yeah. So what's the one thing you want people to know about you, Jessi?
What's the one thing I want them to know?
It's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. I'm in love.
Wow.
I love it. Hello.
Hello. I am in love. Being a musician, you're always on the go, and relationships, come and go. Sometimes it's hard to just to find that person that you say, okay, this is going to be my life partner. And so when you find it and it's right there, and you realize this is the person that is going to support you. And I don't mean necessarily support you, financially.
Right.
But
support you in your endeavor in life.
Yeah. But basically support you. And he's like my father in the way that they say you marry your father.
Yes.
No, he's like my father because he says, "Jessi, I'm never going to let you stop singing. and he supports my career. He's not threatened, intimidated by it. He's like my biggest fan. My dad was my biggest fan, and so I
Maybe your
fell in
dad
love with.
sent him. Sounds like your dad sent him.
Oh yes, in more ways than one.
I'm sure.
More ways than one. Yes.
Is he involved in the music industry?
He started out as a producer and a dancer, and so we produced shows, and we worked together. We've known each other 20 years, and so we worked together producing shows together, and he produced one of my shows and produced shows that I took to New Orleans. And go figure, 20 years later, in and out of our lives, 5 years at a time, with 5 moments, 5 years of separation in between. And the last time was the one where we're like, oh, maybe we were in love all this time. But, we needed God to throw a brick on our heads,
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it's right in front of you. You don't even see it. You're not ready.
And that's just what I was going to say.
You're not ready.
Yeah. When you're ready, it
happens.
It happens. It's magic.
Yep. And that's what you're saying.
It's just magic.
Oh, we're so happy.
I am so happy for you.
That is so exciting. Look at you glowing like a light bulb. I love it.
She's in love.
Love is in the air, like your little curly hair.
I love it. That rhymed.
I know. All right. So if you were going to give someone the best advice in life, what would it be?
Stay true to yourself.
Stay true to yourself.
Regardless of everything else that's being said around you, stay true to yourself. Don't compromise your peace. Don't compromise your principles. Be persistent, humble, but persistent. And remember to love, remember to laugh, and know that family and friends, I have a great community of family and friends. Family and friends are always your tribe and your support system.
Yeah, and that what you're saying is so true. It's like your tribe is like everything, right? I mean, it is who you are.
Yeah. It's people that support you and love you and care for you no matter what.
And would you say you've always had that around you, Jessi? Would you say that it's changed obviously over the years as you've grown? What's your thought on that? What do you feel about that?
Friends, I mean, they say, okay, so we all have family that we're born into, and then we have family that we acquire. Correct. So my friends have become my extended family. And I've had them in my life for years. I want to say since, maybe my young adult years. And having friends and being a friend is something that I find has no value. I mean, no, to the contrary, it's true that has a lot of value, but you can't put a price on that. It's just something that is incredible. You talk to friends 6 months later. Hey, Rochelle, exactly. Perfect example. Yeah. She comes, says, hey, can you be on the show? There was no hesitation. There was no, I got to check my schedule. No, let me clear my schedule. Fine, I'm there. We haven't talked in months, but friends like that, you're always going to be there. You call them and say, hey, I probably call you, Alicia. Hey, oh my God, my crook in my neck.
I say, okay, I'll be there. I would.
I got to play tomorrow. How do I get this out? I've got to show. And so, friends, true friends, true connections with friendship. You don't need to see them every day. You don't need to call them every day.
Yep.
But when push comes to shove,
and those are the ones that you know. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to talk every day, but you pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
And that if it weren't for my mom, I wouldn't have known you. And I'm so grateful my mom knew you so that I could get to know you, because you're just a beautiful soul. You really are. Always have felt that.
Always. Yeah. And the other thing is, through COVID, did any of your friends stay around, or some of them left because of that? Have you noticed anything like that?
As far as leaving
your friendships?
No. To the contrary, our friendships were even closer. We couldn't be close physically, but we missed each other. And the friendships, no, definitely not. There was
I almost feel too like Latin people, and I mean this in the best way. I think like, every culture has a different connection, right? And I think Latin people are so
Full of life.
full of life and connection,
yes.
and they love to be
Yes.
connected, and they have that fire. It's true. Certain cultures do, right?
Yeah,
So
that is true.
there's something about the Latin culture that's so invigorating to me.
Yeah.
Because I know I've had plenty of Latin friends in my life, and they're always like fiery. They're like
passionate.
Yes, very passionate.
Passionate. They can't wait to do and go and experiment and experience. And
yeah.
That's really cool. So I think that's neat.
Yeah.
That, there are.
So maybe I should become Latin.
Please, Rochelle, you don't need to become Latin.
That's right.
I was like, okay, this lady's Italian. She's got some kind of Latin in her.
I do.
You came up to me and you were like, oh my God, that song. And there was no hesitation, nothing at all. I think we sometimes culturally we think, okay, it's this culture and that culture. Yeah. But I think we can be infused.
Yes, totally. I love it.
With the energy.
Infused.
Yes. And that's a great point, because we've traveled a lot. My mom and I together, we travel all over the world. And it's true. Certain cultures infuse you even more. They bring you in even more, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about going to different places in the world too. It's cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So our next question is, what advice would you give to your youngest self?
My youngest self.
Little Jessi.
Okay. Little Jessi. Don't be afraid. There's a whole world out there just waiting for you. And shine like a star. Give them your best. And always remember that, there's only one you.
Mm-hmm. So true. Goes back to what we said. There's only one you in the world. That is true.
So looking at basically the things that you have grown, and I know there has to be some books that inspired you and changed your life. What would be one or two books that inspired you that really called to you and it changed you?
Self-esteem Prophecy. Self-esteem Prophecy was one of those books. It was great. I would go around hugging trees after that. My mother still does it. Okay.
Does she?
But I turned her on then to the book, and Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements.
Sure.
Don't take anything personal. It's not you. If someone says something that's not nice, it's not you. It's something they're processing within themselves. Don't take it personal.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That is a
You're always
good
reminded, right? Because you could slip easily, but it's a great reminder.
It is a great book.
Mm-hmm.
So one other great one, what did you enjoy, which I kind of maybe have an idea, but what did you enjoy the most about your childhood? Kind of have now gotten to know you more. I can imagine what you're going to answer this to. What is it?
Oh my God. So, I used to, when my parents were performing, I got to be in the dressing room sometimes. And I used to peek through the dressing room and watch them perform sometimes when I was able to be in there. And I remember one time, I don't know what it was. And so there was another performer that would perform as well before them. And she was a castanet dancer and a flamenco dancer. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a flamenco dancer. And so I remember one year, I was 4 years old. They got these little patent leather shoes for me. They put on a flamenco dress. And I had the castanets. I was like,
How old were you? How old did you think?
I was maybe 3 or 4, and I'm like, and I was going to be a flamenco dancer, there's a frustrated flamenco dancer in there somewhere.
Now we're going to see you in a flamenco outfit soon. I'll tell you what, you're going to be going all over with your flamenco outfit. That is hilarious.
That is, what I wanted to ask you, it just came to my mind. Your parents were from Cuba. My
dad was Cuban. My mom is Chilean, and she's from Chile.
Nice. So did he live in Cuba?
No. My dad came here to the States at a young age
Oh,
and never
okay.
went back. He keep before the politics happened and everything else. He didn't go back for when the everything happened. So he stayed here in the States, and then my mom, she was in Chile. Um,
Amazing.
she was raised in Chile.
What was, and then it just came up, but what were some of the foods that you guys what would
Alicia's
some of
into
the foods
food.
that your mom would make that you still, you do, you make it yourself? What was it? What was that?
Mom did not cook. Dad cooked.
Dad. Okay, so what
okay,
did your
right.
dad cook? Well, he was Cuban, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes. So I have some signature recipes that I
okay,
do.
tell us. I'm into food these days, like really.
It's oxtail. Get rabo encendido, which is oxtail. I make my dad's recipe of oxtail, and I'll do it like once a year, and it's delicious. I mean, it's just the meat is falling off the bone. Okay, it's
wow,
oxtail, like
dripping off the bone. Wow.
Yeah. Rice and beans, the black beans, the oxtail. Then my dad, several Christmases, and we have pictures together with aprons together. Him schooling me and showing me how to make once a year at New Year's. We do a pork, which is a leg of pork, and it's a big leg of pork, and you season it the night before. Lots of garlic, a lot of secret seasonings in there.
Secret ingredient, yeah.
Yeah, secret ingredients, family recipe, and then the next morning, it's just the whole house smells of Cuban food just from that, in the oven, and it's delicious. It's delicious. Those are the signature. And then my picadillo, which is ground meat, is very well known. My dad's was amazing. I still am tweaking it. I've been trying to get it to as good as my dad, but his was the best. Except I do have a friend that does make it, a producer friend of mine. Every now and then again, you get closer to the picadillo than my dad's picadillo than I do. What is it? But he's Cuban, so
yeah. There was a place in I think Miami, North Miami.
Oh,
Beach.
What
was it's in Miami.
It's in Miami. What is
that restaurant in Miami that everyone goes to?
No. It has been there for
a million
probably 50 years.
It's in Little Havana, I think, right?
Casa Juancho or is it
what the heck is it called? I don't know, but it's gonna drive me crazy.
Well, if you watch a YouTube video of me singing Bésame Mucho, I shot that whole entire video on 8th Street. So you'll probably see me walk by it. We went to the ice cream parlor, to the restaurant, to the park.
Versailles. Thank you,
Mary.
Versailles.
It's been in all the movies. Versailles. Right.
Their food, we would have lines out the door before we can get in there. I'm sure.
And it's been in all the movies. It's just one of those amazing, famous.
And their food is amazing. It's like
their food is amazing. It is.
Thank you, Marianne Weber.
Yes. She's my. I don't know how she even found out because I didn't get a chance.
I love your music and you look fantastic, Jessi.
Thank you. She's my godmother. I call her. She's my musical godmother. Yeah.
Oh, good. She's singing it. She's breaking out the song.
Go for it, babe.
Okay, because you said. Earlier, Alicia, you said you love Latin music.
I do.
And it's so coincidental that hopefully by next month, I got to go in the studio record the vocals to the song. I have a song called Angelitos Negros. Angelitos Negros means little black angels. And the song is such a heartfelt song. I'm going to just do a little bit, not give the whole thing away. It's about a woman in this little town who has a child, and the child, leaves this earth to go to heaven. And she's frustrated because she wants the child to be buried in the church and everything else. And her child was African American. Okay. And so she begs the priest why, and then she finds this painter on the street who's a very well-known painter, pintor. Pintor means painter. She says, why is it that you paint these beautiful angels in the cathedral, in the church, and there are no black angels? Why is it? Why have you forgotten them? Because they also go to heaven. So and I'll be releasing it. It's a beautiful song. It's actually a 1920s cover song from 1920s, and I'll be covering it. pintor, nacido en mi tierra. Nacido en mi tierra, con el pincel extranjero, pintor que sigues el rumbo. Tantos pintores viejos, aunque la Virgen sea blanca, píntame angelitos bellos que también se van al cielo. Todos los negritos bellos, pinta, si pintas con amor, ¿por qué desprecias su color? Si sabes que en el cielo también los quiere Dios.
Wow.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful.
You know, the thing about Latin music, even if you don't speak, you know, the language, you can just feel from the heart. You know what I mean? You don't have to know what that even means.
It's
I have no clue. But
You
it's
feel her
just-
sadness. You feel her sadness.
exactly.
Yeah.
You portray it through your music,
Yeah.
and people get that depth. It's
Oh,
really
that was
beautiful.
deep. I got to
Woo!
tell you,
I was
that
like gonna
was
cry.
deep.
I like,
Yeah,
was tearing
that was
up.
very deep.
Really
Yeah.
beautiful.
And
That
wait till you
was-
hear it recorded. My friend Nomad produced it, and he's an exceptional flamenco guitar player. And he actually did the guitar. And when you hear it, you're literally going to cry. And I ended up learning this song because a good friend of mine, her mom passed away. And she says, will you sing the song at the funeral, at my mom's funeral? And I learned it for her funeral. And then I said, I have to record this song. It's just,
Wow.
nobody's heard it. It's 1920s.
That's
1920s.
really amazing too.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Who sang it at that time?
Javier Solis, who was a famous Latin singer. He was the original recorder, Javier Solis, and he recorded the song. And actually, if you look it up on YouTube, Javier Solis, Angelitos Negros, you see him singing it on a piano to a little girl,
Mm,
and it breaks your heart.
wow.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Do you have any favorite songs?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. You must
Yeah.
have read my mind. Yeah. What's your fave?
My favorite song was I was on tour in Singapore, and my best friend had just passed away at the young age of 31. And I met another gentleman who was working in the hotel, and he said, "Oh, I just had a fight with my best friend." I said, "Don't have a fight. Don't do that. I mean, if you had a fight, go tell him your story, make up, because you never know what could happen."
Yeah.
You know. And he said, "Oh wow, I've had these chords I've been thinking about." He played some chords. I said, "Wait a second, give me the guitar, let me see." And I came up with the lyrics for the song, and he had these couple of chords, and I ended up writing the song called "Se acabó, se fini," which means it's over. But the song actually talks about a friendship and how it was built, how it started, and how it's not really over, because a friend and a true friendship never leaves. And if anybody out there is having a fight with your friend, after you hear the song, send them the copy of the song on Spotify or something, or YouTube, because you know it's not worth it. Don't sweat. Don't sweat. Call and tell them you're sorry.
Yep.
You know.
It's
And
beautiful.
the song's called "Se acabó, se fini." When I first met Rochelle, I was doing a radio interview, and she came up to me, "What's that song? Who wrote that?" And I said, "That's my word for my best friend Javier." And it goes a little bit. I'll share a little bit. It goes. Se acabó, se fini, means it's over between you and me. Se acabó, se fini, but a memory will always be. We met as children, shared laughter and tears for the me. When I was lost, you gave me hope and believed in me. I was bless the day you walked into my life. Because of you, I learned to give my best and always try. So I thought that I won't say beneath means it's over to you and me, but our memory will always be.
Wow. That's a beautiful
That is
ending
beautiful
to this amazing
podcast.
because I mean that was just really,
And especially Together We Rise, all three of us.
oh
we
my
just
God.
rose.
Whoa. to the heavens and back.
Yeah.
Right?
That with Jessi.
You are the light
Fabulous.
of this world with your song.
Absolutely.
And like your dad said, do not stop.
No.
Keep on, keep on.
Yeah. What a gift.
Because your gift is humongous. So Marian said, I was so blessed the day Jessi sang her way into my life.
Thank you, Marianne. Thank you.
That's so,
and
and
that
I'm
is
sure
true.
You've sang your way into
Many.
many hearts. Many.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope I've made people's days amazing, healing, happy, or thoughtful, or anything that they needed at that time. I hope that through my music, I gave it to them through performances. And if they didn't get a chance to see me perform, I hope they'll go to, I'm on Spotify, Pandora. They just put Jessi Campo, JESSICAMPO, and they can hear me. They can ask Alexa, but make sure when you ask Alexa, you do it with a Spanish accent. You have to say Jessi Campo. Because if you just want to play Jessi Campbell, okay?
Wrong person.
And so make sure, and I'm on Facebook. Watch the Dream on Amazon, the movie.
Can't
The
wait
Dream.
to watch that. Really?
Yeah.
And
I've got
you-
Christmas music. Put Silent Night, Jessi Campo on YouTube, and I've got a beautiful video of Silent Night in Spanish and English.
Wow.
So and it's I had featured a very beautiful violinist on my version of Silent Night, Muriel Reynoso, and it was beautiful. We just had 3 instruments: piano, violin, and voice. Silent Night.
Wow.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube. You'll love it. I know it's not Christmas, but what the heck?
Yeah,
but you also go Friday night. Am I correct? You do something Friday night in another, wherever you are.
Yes, actually this Friday night, and twice a month, I'm in a place in Hollywood called Villa Romana, which is a beautiful Italian Romanian restaurant with fabulous chandelier and decor. But you can sit at the bar. You don't have to have dinner, or you can make a reservation for dinner. I'm there this coming Friday. So I'm there twice a month. And then also I perform on Fisher Island a couple of times a month. That's private. You can't go to that one. And then I also have the privilege of performing at a couple of retirement homes and nursing homes where the people are so appreciative. I get to do what I do. I'm an old soul. I get to do my 1920s, my 1930s.
Oh my God, they probably love it.
Good music that nobody plays a lot all the time anymore. But I get to do my jazz and all that, and so I love it.
Amazing.
What a gift,
right?
You're a gift. You are a gift, my friend.
Well, we thank you so much, Jess. For
we can go on and
Jessi.
on just listening to
I
you
know.
sing.
I really could.
You are a blessing, both of you as well. I remember I saw your video. I might have been a little bit after the pandemic, and I showed it to my mom, and you had put something about mother and daughter and how to communicate. And we were just living together for the first time, and there was a lot of communicating that needed to happen. and that was such a perfect video, because I'm sure I'm not the only daughter, mother that was going, oh my God,
Yes.
but you are both inspiring, motivating to see you come together as mother and daughter, to inspire and to lift and to educate and to enlighten, more than anything, enlighten us on everything that we have and are capable of, but sometimes we don't know. And we need help.
Maybe you can come up with a song for it. I'm just thinking.
For your podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Text me some words, the words that resonate with your podcast. Just a few words.
Together we rise.
And I'll come up with a 30-second jingle or something at the beginning of
Okay,
your
we
podcast.
got it.
I would love to. I'd be honored.
Okay.
Are
Well, we would
you
be honored.
Are you
We would
kidding?
be honored. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
That would be amazing. So just a few words. I will
Yeah.
text it to you. We'll go over it, and then
Yeah, and we'll
text
send
to
it
you.
out to you. You are a pleasure.
Thank you. And we're so happy you're
Oh
in
my God.
love.
So
I'm in
so
love,
You
love,
deserve
love,
it.
love.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
So happy we connected. I
Yep.
really am. We have to get together. We
Yeah,
really
that's the
do.
next thing. Togetherness.
Absolutely. Are you still living over in Fort Lauderdale, same place?
Yep.
Okay.
So you can come here and whatever. We
Yeah,
can have dinner. We
definitely.
can have lunch, whatever. We'll make some fun, yummy stuff.
Yummy, delicious stuff for you.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Okay,
ladies.
my
All right. We
friend.
love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Besitos.
Besitos. Bye. Love,
Mwah.
love.
Bye, babe.
Bye-bye.